Hi and welcome to this week's FM Moving Pictures. What you just saw was Mot Employ. That was from a 3-track video that they have just given to us. Actually, we've had it for a couple of weeks, but because we weren't on last week, it didn't run last week. But here we go, we're on this week. And again, this week's program is only half an hour, so stay tuned afterwards for the Stranglers FM Focus, I guess, if we still have that. Do we still have that, Marino? Yes, we still have the Stranglers FM Focus. So that's what we'll finish off the hour with today. But for the next 4 minutes or so, I want to talk to you about the new Roger Waters solo album. And I'm going to froth off about this album. I really, really do like it. It's different, you know. It's not something for everybody, that's for sure. You know, a lot of people didn't buy the last Pink Floyd album. A lot of people didn't buy it. I guess, I don't know. The album is called The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking, and unlike the final cut, it's not about his father being killed in the war. It's the analogy for this is quite a buzz. It's quite different. The analogy of the pros and cons of hitchhiking, actually, what it means is that he's saying that women, as you can see on the cover of this album, this young lady is very smartly dressed. She has matching shoes. The shoes go along with the backpack. And the inner works on this album are perhaps as chauvinistic as the packaging. This is a very anti-woman album. I guess Roger Waters had some pretty bad experiences with women, his wife and whatnot. And I guess being a band, you deal with groupies and whatnot. And I guess most artists definitely don't have all that much respect for groupies. I guess I'm not sure about how that whole thing works, but a fairly anti-woman album from Mr. Roger Waters. There's one particular thing on here actually that he talks about in as it applies to Yoko Ono, and he's saying, well, the analogy again comes up. I guess he's saying that Yoko Ono was John Lennon's hitchhiker, and she was just kind of along for the ride. And in one part of the song, The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking, He says, "Did you understand the music, Yoko, or was it all in vain?" And there's a few other things we can't really tell you about, but on another song here, just to point out the anti-woman thing here. Well, it picks up a couple hitchhiking, and he ends up, I guess, making it with the girl, and I don't know, it's pretty bizarre. She's a groupie, and she doesn't really get turned on to him because he is Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. She actually gets turned on to him because of his Lamborghini, and so yeah, it's pretty negative, and I guess the last few Pink Floyd albums have been fairly negative. Roger Waters, I guess, really doesn't care if you know what he looked like. He hasn't put his photograph anywhere on this record. Quite unlike the last David Gilmour album, which had Gilmour on the front, the back, and 5 photographs of him on the inside, so you kind of know what David Gilmour looks like. You haven't had a photograph of Roger Waters for quite some time. But I guess, again, a holophonic sound really jumps out at you. It's very dynamic. Incredible guitar work by Mr. Eric Clapton. Sizzling saxophone by David Sanborn, who is usually quite mellow, but not in this case. Keyboards by Andy Bown. There's also going to be video for this with Cherry Vanilla and Jack Palance, the Hell's Angel. Cherry Vanilla will play the hitchhiker as well as the waitress. And yeah, I guess for Pink Floyd fans, this is a must, but some of you probably will not like it. Feminists, I don't think, will like it at all. All right, we're going to move along with the new video by Blancmange. It's called Don't Tell Me, and it's from a brand new upcoming EP as well as an album. Here we go. This is Blancmange.
Let me be your friend. I'll see you let me in the end. I just wanna be your friend. How can I be sure you're breaking all the rules? How can I be sure I should be high above? I climb the mountains, reaching for the skies, and all too soon I jump the moon and find I'm losing my mind. So tell me I'm the howling wind. So tell me you're the wounded star. So tell me I'm the devil's friend. So tell me I've gone too far. I didn't hear you as you left my room last night. Don't turn your back on me. I didn't hear you as you left the room last night. Please return and set me free. I got the mountain, reaching for the skies, and all too soon I jump the moon and find the sun for my eyes. So tell me I'm the howling wind. So tell me you're the wounded star. So tell me I'm the devil's friend. So tell me I've gone too far. I can't get a grip on. 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 No, can't get a grip on. I'll see you let me in the end. I'll see you let me be your friend. I maybe asked this once before. Don't you love me anymore?
Is my tie on tape? We're looking okay? I want to make sure that's warm for this week's show. Ready now, eh? Okay, I'll roll. Okay. Get myself sticked up. Hi, and welcome to the James Muretich segment of this week's FM Moving Pictures. I'm James Muretich, unless of course you're a Van Halen fan, in which case my name is Mike Bezig. I want to talk about records this week and talk about other things and introduce you to a video and just be my usual kind of fun kind of guy. Anyways, to begin with, I know that Mike showed you that Roger Waters album last week, and must admit I like the cover. We're going to talk about that one next week. At least I'm going to talk about it. I'm sure Mike's already spewed his guts out about it. Anyways, little historical significance here. We'll give you a close-up of these afterwards. Quality Records has re-released the first Thompson Twins album called I think it's called A Product of Participation. And for all of you who are now, hold me now, really getting into the Thompson Twins, you might find this one kind of interesting anyways. It's very, very different. First of all, there's 6 people in the group, and my cat wants to be in the show again. Poke, do you want to be in the show? Here, wait a second. Here, Poke. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk here. There's 6 people. Can we talk? There's 6 people in the band instead of 3, and in fact, Alana is only given special credit. Isn't that right, Poke? Huh? Right on. Yeah, he's a good cat. And the music is really different. It's a lot more left field. And to tell you the truth, I kind of like it. It's not as, please don't go to the washroom, Poke. It's not as, thank you. Yes, over there. You just knock on the door. Wendy will let you in. Anyways, it's not quite as, what would you call clean and sort of electro pop in a very commercial sort of top 40 radio way. And I've really enjoyed it listening to it. I did not have this before. And if you're a Thompson Twins fan and you're open to things a little more eccentric, then you just may want to try this. I think it's fun, And speaking of fun, and this is exactly what this is. Hey, it's summertime, You can tell. I mean, okay, it's been a little cold this past week, but I'm feeling kind of summerish today. And you sure the tie's up straight, eh? Equidistant between the. Okay. Anyways, and it's Bop Girl, Pat Wilson. Now, who is Pat Wilson? I don't know. Does anybody really care? And you probably won't care next year. This will be a Trivial Pursuit question 3 years from now. Who did a song called Bop Girl in 1984? Anyways, this is Pat Wilson. The song is Bop Girl. It's got other great songs on this record, like Bop Girl Goes Surfing, Killer Bees, Tacky, and Strong Love. Anyway, some of the, you can tell from just those titles that this is what you call real, ace musical material. But where it's fun is this song, Bop Girl, is fun. Let's face it, right now I think the Go-Go's have gone. They're nowhere and they're getting a little bit boring, It's almost like, you might as well go out, and clean up Joan Jett and get her to do doo-wop or something. It's just not really happening. Now, Pat Wilson is campy. This is campy, good music, and I think you might enjoy this if you like that kind of doo-woppy or bop girl. It's fun. Good party music, and you're probably having a surf party with sand and hot dogs. And did you know that Annette Funicello turned 40 this past week? Really, she turned 40. And she doesn't, I was just reading this the other day, and she doesn't have a pair of her original Mickey Mouse ears. Isn't that kind of sad? That she kept losing them. You know that Walt Disney would fine you $50 when they lost their Mickey Mouse ears when they were kids? This is true. I wouldn't lie to you. This is all true stuff. Hey, the things you can read in newspapers. Okay, album of the week. It's right there. You see? You can see it. There it is. It's an album of the week. It's good. Bio material. Annabelle Lamb. I could read about her. Once bitten, twice shy. Well, not exactly. Perhaps out of the frying pan into the flame I'd come a little record company stuff. Yeah, these guys are really on top of it. Annabelle Lamb, you would remember we showed her video last year on the program, a really good version of Riders on the Storm. In fact, we may have even shown more than that. To tell you the truth, my memory's going. I'm getting old. Marino's shaking his head. No more. Periscope, Marino, Periscope. And anyway, but this is her new album called The Flame, which ironically happens to be, I think, one of the weaker tracks on the album. But anyway, she liked it. She called it The Flame. And this is a little different, a little more up-tempo than last year's. But the thing I like about it, you remember, of course, last year. Okay, you don't want to look at it anymore, right? Okay, you want to look at me. Okay. Last year, you remember, of course, that what we were talking about, she sounds a lot like Marianne Faithfull. She has that voice, that kind of sensual, raspy kind of voice. Sorry, I guess this is a family show. Wait a second, there we go. Kind of sensual, voice. and but a little raspy side, and she has that still. She hasn't changed her voice, hasn't become Tiny Tim, who, by the way, do you know that Tiny Tim turned 50 this past week? It's true. He was down in California playing somewhere. I read about it. And do you know that he doesn't have any money? Like he just didn't save anything when he became really big. And in fact, he's supposed to be even fatter now. These are the things I read, you know. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, Annabelle Lamb. Yeah, I gotta recommend some album, don't I? Anyways, it's very enjoyable. What I like about her is she's got some really fine lyrics to her music. A lot of it's very, you know, dreamy in a way. Yet at the same time, she writes some really poignant lyrics. If I may. May I? Sure I can. Why not? You've got another minute, don't you? You're not going anywhere? Okay. This is from the song So Lucky in Bed, which I think the title might give you an idea of what it's about. It's got some great things like, you know, you go cruising in bars for something to do, but you don't realize what it's doing to you. You go out for a drink, you meet some fella. If he takes off your shoe, you're Cinderella. That's a nice line. You like that? I like that. Anyways, Annabelle Lamb, I think you might want to check her out. As I say, a little Marianne Faithfulish, but she's moving more and more in an original direction, and it's a kind of album that you want to sit down and absorb. It's not party music, but it's darn good. Anyways, while we're on the subject of party music, hey Fee, you want to party? Hey, I'm into black women, black cats. Here we go. We're gonna party. Boogie, boogie, yeah. Okay, here's Bananarama, right? You like Bananarama? You don't like Bananarama? Well, they're popular in England. I don't know. Come back. Come back here, watch this.
All right, welcome back. I think we'll let our camera guy have his debut. He wants to do his Michael Jackson impersonation. Let's just switch over to the other camera there. Go for it, guy. Michael Jackson by Peter Nickerson. Hot. All right, back to me. The kid, I don't know, it's whatever it is, it wasn't all that hilarious. Whoa! And the glove, yes. The right hand, is it the right hand? Yeah, Michael wears a glove on the right hand. Latoya wears a black silk glove, and I don't know. It's all in the family, right? Okay, the new INXS album is called The Swing, and it is one fine rock album. I've been waiting for this for a while. Produced by Mr. Nile Rogers, and he kind of wimped out the spoons on their last album, if you can remember it. That didn't do too well, and actually when I heard that he was producing the new album by INXS, I thought, oh no, I hope he doesn't wimp out on these guys too, or make them sound too soft, you know, too slick. But that isn't what has happened. The rough edges are kind of still there, and the whole of side one, Original Sin, you've been hearing on the radio for a long time. Third song in it called I Sent a Message, and I think it's the next dance single from this album, that's for sure. And The Swing, the title track, The Swing, is just going through my head all the time. I'm really, you know, it's infectious rock and roll, and it's something I think the mass can definitely get into. All right, we have a, you remember the Kate Bush thing last week? Those of you that like Kate Bush, those of you that are Kate Bush fans, if you're going to be going to the convention in Winnipeg on June the 30th, you can call Bernie Leask, or L-E-A-S-K, that's the way he spells his name, at 252-0230. That's if you need a ride or if you want more information. Bernie Leask, or whatever, 252-0230. You can get a hold of him. Also, we are giving away 12 sets of these photos of Kate. They are ready for framing, and they're on fairly hard paper. And we suggest that if you want these, you write to us at FM Moving Pictures, 3003 McLeod Trail. T2G2P8 is the postal code. And we will make a draw in a couple of weeks for 12 sets of those photos. We will be giving them away on the air. All right, back to our Michael Jackson guy for a little bit of, all right, hey, he's hot. He is really hot. Back to me. And I'm Mike Dudley for everybody here. Have yourself a good week. James says bye to you.
Can be so nice watching you, darling, silhouette. Your lips will cover mine in silent sleep. We can be silent until we take this cigarette from my mouth, pull my hair to see if it is real. If I should falter, her legs are strong for me. We can be strong till we have spent strength. Like a stone into a fountain, see and feel the ever-spreading wind. Love is the spark that lights the flame. Baby, this flame is all we need. like a dervish just to please me. Dance in the heat so that you glow. Then come to me with your fire. You can make fire with what we know. We can make fire.